Doo-doo-doo. What is going on, everybody? James Hancock here. I'm back with a reaction video to the trailer for Street Fighter coming our way this October. And good golly, Miss Molly, if you're a fan of fighting games from the early 90s, specifically stand-up arcade games, 2026 is a big year for early 90s nostalgia because we have Mortal Kombat 2 coming out in a couple weeks, and now we have Street Fighter coming out in the fall. And they might as well just call this movie Street Fighter 2 because that was the game that just took over the culture. At least it took over the culture until Mortal Kombat came along and took over the culture. But everybody's favorite characters are from Street Fighter 2. And they obviously added a lot of popular characters with different additions as they went. But in the summer of '92, I got my driver's license, which meant I could drive out to the Putt-Putt on Battleground Avenue in Greensboro, North Carolina, and stand in line. Everybody, this was back in the day when people would put their quarters on the corner of the machine to like show their place in line. I don't know how we kept track of like which corners were which, but people would stand in line talking shit, and there would be like the local reigning champions that were good at certain characters. But this was back in the day where pre-internet, keep in mind, you would learn the moves by just talking to your friends. Like, oh, like how does Ken shoot his fireball, or how does Guile do that big ass spinning kick? Like you had to just learn by osmosis and word of mouth. And it was really fun and really social. And obviously, at a certain point, the consoles and the PCs got so good and their computing power got so strong, they kind of left the stand-up arcade games in their dust. But like summer '92, for a couple of years there, that was kind of like the last great gasp of amazing arcade games. So Street Fighter 2, I have a lot of very fond memories of it. Less fond memories of the Super Nintendo version because when it came out, it had sweat instead of blood. Maybe there was like a way to turn the sweat off and back on the blood at a certain point, but sweat in a Street Fighter game is super lame, but at least gave me a chance to practice the moves without having to constantly feed quarters into the machine because it was tough to learn how to play because, once again, giant army of kids standing around the machine, and if you sucked, well, then people are just going to beat your ass in a couple seconds. You wouldn't even get a chance to practice. Then you're back to the end of the line. So it was tough to learn in the thick of things, as it were. But Kitao Sakurai is directing this movie, and he comes from the world of Eric Andre, and he directed a few episodes of Beef, which is a pretty popular show on Netflix. I saw the first season. I think season 2 is coming. But as far as the cast goes, some people have me very excited, and some people do not. Like Kalina Liang as Chun-Li. She's got a very tough act to follow because people love the character of Chun-Li.
Round 1, fight!
Who else do we got in here? 50 Cent's playing Balrog. You might be a little old to be playing Balrog, but I hope you'll do a good job. Jason Momoa's Blanca. He cannot possibly be worse than the Blanca from the 1994 version starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. By 1994, I feel like the whole Street Fighter craze for me had that ship had sailed and I'd moved on to other things. So the movie came like 1 year too late to really capitalize on that. But the animated movie, hang on, I got the full title right here. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie from 1994, it's pretty goddamn good. If you're a fan of anime, or anime as the kids call it, there's a scene in there where, depending upon which version you're watching, you might get to see the great Chun-Li taking a shower. So, ooh la la, it's good stuff. But the big question with this new movie is, how are they going to handle Ryu, Ken, and M. Bison? Because M. Bison was played by Raul Julia in the first one, and he was just born to play. Well, he was born to play big dramatic roles, and he helped redeem that original movie. But David Dastmalchian, he could do a good job. As far as Ken and Ryu are concerned, or Ryu as I used to say back in the day because I didn't know any better, Andrew Koji looks pretty cool. Noah Centineo, I'm less convinced, and just because I was very invested in the character of Ken back in the day, I just want somebody who's totally badass to play him. But who knows? Maybe Guile will be good. Who's playing Guile? Cody Rhodes. Oh, the son of the wrestler, Dusty Rhodes. Maybe he'll be good. Guile, I just loved playing Guile back in the day because he had that killer theme song. I'm off key. Had to go down an octave. And I can't fucking sing. But Guile was awesome. He had a killer theme song. It's on like that air base, and he was in USA. Anyway, I hope that Cody Rhodes will do a good job with Guile. But the main reason I'm curious about this movie is that it's a Paramount movie, and for people who follow the industry, they'll know that David Ellison, who runs Skydance, recently merged with Paramount thanks to his daddy's billions. His father is Larry Ellison, who founded Oracle, and now they're in the process of merging with Warner Brothers. A lot of people in the industry are trying to push back on that and trying to prevent the merger, but that merger is most likely going to take place. But if you're wondering what kind of studio head David Ellison's going to be, and what kind of adaptations or properties or franchises they're going to be pushing, this might be an example of his kind of taste moving forward. But it's always a question of when somebody buys a studio, how many films are already in production that you then have to kind of take ownership of versus those that you actually approved. I don't know if David Ellison had already merged with Paramount prior to this movie getting the green light, but if it does well, there will be more Street Fighter movies, and maybe we can get a real Street Fighter 2 if this one does well, because obviously it's the characters from Street Fighter 2 that everybody knows and loves and adores all these years later. But at this point, I'm rambling. Let's watch this trailer and see what it's all about in 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All the fan favorite characters.
I got good news, y'all. Gathered here are the world's best fighters.
I won't deny it, I'm a street fighter.
But only one of which will be crowned the world
Right.
champion of street fighting.
You can definitely tell they're trying to tap into a little UFC flavor.
Perfect.
You're not a warrior anymore, you're a sideshow.
Chun-Li's looking good.
MTV. I'm Ken Masters.
That's a cool nod to the
This was
video
your shot
game.
at redemption.
He's set.
Were you gonna show? I'm on
I like how they're using moves from the game. That roll move, that was considered cheap
Maybe it's
at my
Ken's turn to
arcade.
be champion.
It's funny, back in the day we always called him Ryu, but it's Ryu, but there's no internet, so we all just thought it was Ryu.
I'm paid to find champions,
Nice.
even if they're lost.
Terrible music choice for Street Fighter 2, or Street Fighter. I fucking hate this song.
Good to see you, old friend.
Yeah, Noah's not doing it for me at all. Total douche.
Still reckless.
But Ryu, he looks cool. Hadouken!
Sit down.
Kick his ass.
This tournament is not what it seems. We have to be ready.
If you're wondering why I'm being harsh on Ken, oh, ooh la la. I played Ken a lot back in the day, so I've got a lot of emotional investment.
Everyone keeps going on about your thighs.
Hell yeah, they do.
I don't see what the big deal is. Bitch, please!
Another move from the game.
Redemption.
All right, I'll see this shit.
I'm positive that a fireball came out of Ryu.
Go here, Ryu!
It's just see how many moves I can remember. Yeah, but it's down, forward, and punch to do the fireball. But you go forward, and if you want to do the uppercut, it's forward and then down, forward, punch, and you Hadouken. In any case, it looks like pure trash, but it might be delicious trash. Like sometimes when you're wasted and it's late at night, you can eat like 3 Big Macs, and it's not good for you, but it's delicious. And maybe this will be like eating 3 Big Macs late night when you're totally shit-faced and stumble on your way home just trying to sober up. Which ingredients did I like? Andrew Koji, or Kaji, as Ryu. He looks like he's got all the necessary gravitas and style. Noah Centineo just looks like such a weenie. And maybe I just played the character of Ken too many times back in the day, but he should just be so cool and so lethal. And anyway, maybe he'll become cool and lethal by the end of the movie, but yeah, that's a big weak spot. That fucking song from the trailer is another big weak spot. But the rest of the cast, like, Olivier Richter's as Zangief, it was cool seeing how they were going out of their way to capture the moves from the game. And it's funny how back in the day you would get like criticized by your fellow players if you use what were called like the cheap shots, where you basically grab somebody and roll and throw them, because it was just too easy. All you had to do was just get close and use a powerful kick or a powerful punch, and you would throw them or whatever. And so it's just considered like bad form, even though it was a move that was available to you, and you would your reputation would suffer. You had to beat people with skill and timing and distance management and all that good stuff. So I will see this movie, and I will go into it with not high expectations, but I will go in with enthusiastic expectations, looking for a nice sentimental journey through the early 90s. And I don't know which characters were introduced in later games and which characters that people might be looking forward to if this becomes a full-blown franchise. But it could easily become a franchise because they're still making Street Fighter games. The original game was 1987, so it's a nearly 40-year-old franchise at this point. A lot of different generations of fans, some from the arcade, some from consoles, some from online matches and that sort of thing. I have not followed the Street Fighter franchise in many, many, many years, but go back and play the original Street Fighter 2. It still holds up really well just because the music's great, the character's great, just a great experience. Or if you really want to watch a good movie, watch Street Fighter 2, the animated movie from 1994. Maybe good's a strong word, but it's a very entertaining movie, well worth hunting down. And if you just want to, have a look back at the weaker side of the 1990s, you can watch the live-action Street Fighter from 1994, where Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Guile, and yeah, it's not a good movie. But if you just are a total sucker for the 1990s, maybe you'll find something about it that is exciting. I guess Ming-Na Wen, who became popular on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. many years later, she was the original Chun-Li. And so if you're a Ming-Na Wen fan from Marvel, by all means, take it for a spin. Or Raul Julia, who plays Bison. In any case, I am rambling at this point. Oh my God, I'm just looking now at the cast. Simon Callow played an AN official in Street Fighter from 1994. Simon Callow, in addition to appearing in Street Fighter, is like the world's greatest Orson Welles historian and has written a lot of great books on his career. If you want to know where the world of Orson Welles and Street Fighter merge or collide, the original 1994 Street Fighter. That's where it all goes down. So at this point, I'm just blabbering, and it's time for me to go see the new Mummy flick. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. But I hope everybody has a great day. But more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.